Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. First of all, thanks, John, inviting me to talk about Kubernetes, the most popular Kubernetes for OpenShift. So for those of you who are not aware, so Kubernetes is so popular. All right, so the Kubernetes is now dominating the whole market. So if you look back before 2000, so primarily, so when I started to work, mainly working with all different Unix platform and all the database like DB2, AIX, 264, all these. Now you can't see all these Unix platforms. So from because everybody moving to virtualization, then become VMware is so popular everywhere. And since 2015, you can see here, containers, Docker containers, so popular. A lot of people adopting Docker containers. Then by the time 2020, actually the rise of the Kubernetes. So it becomes the de facto standard for the container orchestration. So you see almost everywhere you can see the containers. If you ask where are you running your containers, most likely it's running on Kubernetes. Where are the Kubernetes cluster? So that's today's topic. I will show you what are the popular Kubernetes cluster. So 91% actually the adoption of the containers. So 91%. So could be customer already deployed in production, or could be it's in planning, it's testing. So only 9% haven't think about the containers yet. Do you guys know CNCF? So Cloud Native Computing Foundation. If you look into their website, there is a CNCF landscape. Actually, there are a lot of the different vendors in this space. So the ecosystem is huge. So for any single person, you can't really learn everything. So that's why I set up my Kubernetes meetup group. So I set up the group. So far, it's so popular in Singapore. So only 6 months, we got close to 1,300 members. So feel free to scan the QR code to join us, to continue to learn. Not just join us to learn. We are also looking for volunteers to speak. Everybody probably learns something differently. So that's why I was talking here, learn, share, and continue to learn. Okay. So talking about platform engineering, it's more in this particular category. So what are the typical Kubernetes? It could be the certified Kubernetes distribution or the hosted Kubernetes cluster. It's hard to say, it's our chart, but there is another one, looks better, but still a lot. Actually, something is missing here. So totally, right now, I checked probably 2 days ago, there are 149 certified Kubernetes. That's a lot. Basically, you can't learn everything. But once you select the most popular one, you just learn a few of them, and then you will be an expert. Because the whole market is hard to find someone really good at Kubernetes. Okay, so what are the typical popular managed Kubernetes? I took a screenshot from, there is a link here. It is from CNCF Survey. That's back from 2021. So the most popular Kubernetes cluster, you can see Amazon EKS, and you can see Azure AKS and the Google Kubernetes engine. So these are the top 3 most popular managed Kubernetes. Why customer go to managed Kubernetes? Because it's hard to fine-tune your Kubernetes cluster. Technically, you can set up your own Kubernetes, but you need to prepare the Linux system. You need to install all the packages, and then you need to use the command to join the cluster together. You need to set up the control plane, and then add the work nodes. It does take a lot of time. But if you want to get certified, you don't need to learn that hard. Okay, the hard way to set up the Kubernetes cluster. But if you just need a Kubernetes cluster to run your application, could be you're a developer. You just want to run your application. You don't have to deal with the hard part to set up the cluster. You just spin up a Kubernetes cluster from one of the Kubernetes cloud providers. If I go back to the last one, so according to the survey, so Amazon, definitely the leader, a lot of people using Amazon EKS, and then followed by AKS and the Google GKE. Do you guys agree? EKS is the most popular one. What about AKS? What about GKE? I don't fully agree on the two and the number 2 and the number 3. So I did my own survey according to the LinkedIn survey. Definitely Google Kubernetes engine is more popular than Azure AKS. So also from my conversation with my customers, definitely I don't see Azure AKS that popular yet. But definitely the 3 are most popular one. The other one is Alibaba Cloud. Also, especially we are living here in Singapore, we are part of the Asia Pacific. Alibaba Cloud also pretty popular. And I also create a lot of videos. So in my spare time, I just create lots of different videos to show a lot of people how to create a Kubernetes cluster from all different cloud providers. So according to my top 15 list, so Amazon EKS, Red Hat OpenShift, and Azure actually, Azure AKS not even in the top 15 yet. So Google also definitely pretty popular. Okay, and you guys want to see a demo? Yeah, let's get started. So we talk about the Managed Kubernetes is so popular, but how to spin up a Kubernetes cluster. So I will show you a quick demo. So Google actually is my favorite because there are a lot of stuff. It's other cloud provider are kind of like a still far behind. That's why I show you from a Google Cloud how to spin up a GKE cluster. So if you don't have a Google Cloud account, you can just go to cloud.google.com/free. You can sign up a free trial account. It only takes about 5 minutes. I also have a video to show you how to sign up a trial account from a Google Cloud. And then once you have the trial account ready, you basically just run one command about 5 minutes, sometimes it could be 6 minutes. You will have a GKE cluster ready. And not only GKE cluster ready, part of my automation, I also deploy a sample database just for you to try. And then once you've done the testing, you just destroy the whole environment. So you can clean up the whole environment. So if I move that one, you can see why I love the Google Cloud. Let me remove this one. So it comes with 300 USD credit. So you can try all different services from Google Cloud, not just the GKE cluster. You can try some other services as well. And also it comes to 90 days to trial. So technically, you don't have to use your laptop to do some testing. So you just spin up a GKE cluster, create a trial account, 90 days, $300, you can try. And you don't need to worry about if you overuse, you will be charged. No, it's not going to happen unless you choose to upgrade. So you don't need to worry about that. But they do need you to provide the credit card details, part of the sign up. That's why I always choose Google Cloud for my testing as well. For some other cloud providers, always only 30 days. Okay. So now let me show you how it works. So bottom of the screen, you can also see Google GKE is the first major cloud offering managed Kubernetes 1.26. The latest Kubernetes version, that's 1.26. Google is always the first one to release. Typically, they commit when the upstream, the Kubernetes cluster release new version. They will release the GKE 1.26, the latest one, in about 4 to 6 weeks. But some other bigger cloud providers, it could be a few months, even longer. Okay, so I will use Google Cloud as an example to show you. So how to do it? You just clone the repository. there is a little bit missing, but we will share you the slide deck anyway, so you don't need to worry about. So I just copy clone the repository from the Cloud shell, and then you run this command, and then followed by you just run the command. It's on the top, gke-deploy, and we will spin up a GKE cluster. And once you've done your testing, you can just remove the whole cluster. So gke-destroy. I'm going to show you now. So this is my Google Cloud account. So I need to log into the Cloud account. It was already disconnected, so I reconnect. I already clicked the Cloud shell, activated the Cloud shell, and then you will see this screen. And from here, you just clone the repository. I need to copy the command. Let me go to my GitHub page. So you just go to g.ksug.com. So the first one is GKE Casa. So you click the link, and then move down to the screen. You can see the instructions. So the first command is you just open Cloud shell, and then you copy the command. So once you copy, this is a one-time command. Once you copy, it will be sitting from the Cloud shell. You don't have to copy again. So for my case, I already did that. So you don't have to copy again. So what I need to do is, if it's a first time, you need to also enable the GKE API. So in this case, I also enable. So the next step is I just run this command to deploy a GKE cluster. So come back to the Cloud shell. I need to change it to the directory GKE, and then I paste the command here. Did I copy it? So I copy this command, paste it here, and press enter. So it only take about 5-6 minutes. You will have a GKE cluster up running, and also you have basically you have everything ready to go. And then you can immediately try to deploy some more application to the cluster. And in the meantime, if you want to verify, you can log into Google Cloud Console. You can see the new cluster is created. So any questions so far? Are we all good? Yeah. So it does take about 5 minutes. So in the meantime, let me come back to the slider. So once you've done you create the cluster, you do your testing, you finish your testing, you can run one command to clean up the environment. Okay. So let's continue. But if you're a guy say, I don't want to connect to the cloud, I just want to use my laptop. So how to spin up a sandbox Kubernetes cluster? So that's I listed here a few options. There are actually a lot of the options. I only listed a few here. So for example, you might use the minikube or macro.ks, K3s. If you install Docker desktop or Rancher desktop, it also gives you the Kubernetes cluster. So anybody tried any one of these? Literally just need a few minutes. You can have the cluster ready. So I'm going to give you an example how to set up a minikube. Okay. And macro.ks are also pretty similar, but you need a little bit more because everything is not enabled by default. So you need to enable one by one all the different add-ons. So let's try the minikube. So how to do it? So basically you need a Linux machine, but the Kubernetes node can be running on Windows, but I don't see many customers running on Windows. How to create the Linux machine? I can use my my laptop, which is running MacBook, and if I technically you can create a Linux machine, virtual machine from a MacBook. So how to create a virtual machine? Or you can install minikube on top of your Mac OS. But I don't like the idea. The reason is when you try to clean up, you will always find something wasn't clean up clear entirely. So that's why I install multipass. Anybody heard multipass? basically the idea is just to give you one command. You can create a Linux virtual machine from anywhere. Could be Windows, could be Linux, could be your Mac OS. So I'm going to use a multipass. How to launch a virtual machine here? You just run multipass launch, give a node name, and then how many CPU, how much memory, how many disk you want to give to the virtual machine. It only take a few minutes, you can have a virtual machine ready. And then I log into the virtual machine and I install minikube to that Linux machine. That will be a lot easier for me to clean up. I just remove the whole virtual machine, everything is gone. Okay. And how to spin up a minikube Kubernetes cluster? You just run minikube stop, and then once it's ready, you can run the minikube kubectl get nodes. You can verify if the node is ready. All good. So I'm going to show you how it works. So we are still creating the cluster. Let me. Okay. So you guys are using VS Code, yeah. So I also use VS Code. So I'm in the terminal right now. So let me clear my screen. So what I'm going to do is, so first of all, you need to install multipath. So just from a Mac, you just run one command, brew install multipath. It will install to your laptop. So similarly, if you go to, I also included a link. If you go to the multipath, the website, you can download it for your Windows or for your Linux system. And then how to launch a Ubuntu VM, you just run this command. So I'm going to run this command now. There are some problems. Let me see what's happening. Anyway, let me just do from the beginning. I'm going to reinstall the multipath. So it looks like something is wrong from here. I'm going to install. So when I install this command, it will prompt you there are some problems. If you already installed it, you just run this command to reinstall. So, sorry? It's no, it's not a. It's kind of like a hypervisor. It allows you to create a multiple virtual machine. So it comes from Canonical. So that's the company. They created the tool. So your Apple already has a hypervisor too. No, I'm not using the. No, it's not a built-in from Apple. I just install third-party tools. Okay, so let me type in my password. So hopefully it just work. So I use this tool to spin up additional VM for me to do the testing. Yeah. So I'm going to run this command again. Let's see. What about now?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I think for the online attendees, yeah, because I was using, there is some challenges with the projector basically.
Yeah. Thank you.
So now you see within a few seconds, the VM is ready. If you want to verify, and you can run another command, multipath list. So now it will show you the new VM, which I just created. It's a node for Yongkang. And the other one is I created earlier. It's already stored. I'm going to use this VM to do the demo. So how to log into the VM? You just run multipath shell to this node. Yeah, so I'm already at Ubuntu. And from here, So this is the next step is how to install minikube on Ubuntu. So you just I also copied the command from their website. So I included in the slide deck. You see there is a link how to install minikube. Minikube also can be, as I mentioned earlier, it can be installed on your Mac, but I don't like the idea because when it comes to cleanup, it's hard. So I'm going to run the next two commands. So this step basically depends on how fast the network. We're going to download the minikube from the internet and then to start to basically to copy to your local machine. So any questions, feel free to interrupt to ask, okay? And the minikube is running. No, I mean, we already installed the minikube. You can verify the version. So it is running the latest version, 1.29 right now. And the next step, we're going to start minikube. So how to start? You just run minikube start. Okay, here is a problem. I deliberately bring this problem to show you. Okay, so to allow it to run, it does require any one of the drivers listed here. You can use Docker, you can use KVM2, you can use Podman, you can use VMware or VirtualBox. Because I don't have any one of these, so I can't run the minikube. So that's why I included the instruction here. So you just do this command to install Podman. Yeah, it looks like it wasn't installed correctly. Let's see. Yeah, it could be installed in a different path. It takes a while to finish the install. Yeah, I don't know really why it doesn't work. But basically, we're running the same command. Yeah. Okay, now looks like it's okay. And then we can run the minikube stuff. Okay, so in this case, we're going to download the Kubernetes 1.26, the images, and then bring up the cluster. So shortly, you will see the cluster will be up running. So while we're waiting here, let me come back to the one we created earlier. So you can see, you see why I love Google Cloud. This time, less than 5 minutes, the cluster is up running. And how to verify which cluster version. So you just run the command. Let me show you. If I do the kubectl or get a node, you can see my cluster is running 1.26, and it's a one node cluster. It was running about 9 minutes ago. So this is my cluster. So 1.26. So my name is a Kubernetes guy. Okay. So this is my cluster. And if you do some folder verification, let's see what pod is running here. So these are the, by default, it's already installed all these containers and it is running. So the bottom of the screen, that's the application PostgreSQL database. Also part of my automation, it's already being installed. So any questions about the GKE cluster? It's so simple, so easy, yeah. I created the automation previously. I was created this automation. It's mainly for myself to learn and then to show customer how to create a GKE cluster and how to clean up quickly. So if you want to verify from the web console, you can go to the hamburger icon here, and then on the Kubernetes engine, and then you can click the clusters. So I click in the new tab. You can see my cluster is running. So I was running from a US Central one. So the reason is the US Central one is cheaper. Yeah. I'm going to close this Cloud shell. So you can see this is a one node cluster, 2 CPU, 8 gigabytes memory. And if you click the cluster details, you can see all the details. So 1.26, only one node. You can see all these details. Any question to the GKE cluster? Yeah, go ahead. How much time? Yeah, Google is about this 4 minutes. So the AWS actually it doesn't take a long time. How long? A few times. I mean, like 3 times. You need like a 50 minutes or even more. Okay, but it doesn't change the factor. AWS market share is the #1. Yeah, because their number of services, the breadth and the depth of the services is huge, and a lot of people using it. So Google, the Kubernetes cluster was born from Google. They invented Kubernetes, but they are not doing very well in the sales marketing. I don't think that they are doing very good. But technology-wise, I love it. So Microsoft Azure also, they did enhance recently. So the latest version from Microsoft Azure, that's 1.25. So they also make it 5 minutes, so which is amazing. So previously, a previous version, Azure AKS, it does take about 8 minutes. So last time I just tried AKS, it only take 5 minutes. But remember, it's not the latest, it's a -1. Hmm? I never tried Anthos, but it should be similar, yeah. I don't know. I haven't tried Anthos. So basically, the Anthos is their GKE on-premise. You can think about it, it's a GKE on-premise. Istio. Oh, that's a different topic. Yeah. No, so Istio is a service mesh. It's on top of your GKE or other Kubernetes cluster. So the Anthos is their on-premise options. So similar like AWS, they also have their option like Outpost, or Azure, they have their Azure Stack. Yeah, that's the Anthos system. But part of the Anthos, they also have the GKE on-premises. Anthos is the orchestrator to the, I guess Anthos does orchestrate multiple Kubernetes clusters. Yeah, also that's a very good point. Yeah, I think also Anthos comes with a multi-cluster management or multi-cloud. So when you talk about a hybrid multi-cloud, Google also ahead of other guys. Because the AWS is so big, they don't really want to talk about multi-cloud. They just want everybody just stick with the AWS. But when Google started, they want to get customer from other cloud, so they also allow you to run the GKE from AWS. Any question about the GKE? I'm going to show you the one. So we are almost about the time, right? So you can see the cluster is running. Now you can verify. So you can verify how many nodes you have. So for example, here, I only have one node. So first time I'm going to run, I need to install kubectl. It's automatically going to install. And there you can see, I got one node. The node name is minikube, and it's running as a control plane. It's about 4 minutes ago. It's running 1.26. So that's used the minikube. So in my demo, I basically show you how to launch a GKE cluster from Google Cloud, how you can create the sandbox Kubernetes from your laptop. Okay, let me come back to the slide. I think that we are almost done, yeah. So once you have the cluster ready, I also Yeah, I only have one more, maybe 2 slides to talk about your data management challenges. So you have your cluster ready. Do I need a backup? Definitely you need to back them up. So do I need to secure my cluster, secure my containers? How secure my Kubernetes cluster? How secure my containers? So basically, you don't really have any idea unless you have a tool to give you some more, insights. So I listed here. So how to back up your containers? You can leverage. That comes another point why Google Cloud. Google is the only cloud provider that manage the Kubernetes backup native tool. So other cloud don't even have the tool yet. You can only use third party. And how to secure your containers. I also have a few links here. And also how to migrate the containers. So from my YouTube channel, I got now probably around 70 plus videos talking about all different Kubernetes. Yeah. So feel free to follow me to learn. And just including a few reference links. So, and if anyone interested, here is another link about a Kubernetes data management group. And on my user group, you can basically just click the link. Also, I have a group chat. So I will share the slide deck from our group chat. Feel free to join our group chat. So everybody from that group is about Kubernetes. You can ask any question or whatever. It's a hard, complex question or simple question. Kubernetes learning. Do you guys want to get certified? So I only shared a few links, which I did. So for example, when I do the beginners, the KCNA, I actually did this one, the last one, that's my 4th certification. The first one I did is a CKA. So when I was doing the CKA, Certified Kubernetes Administrator, I was using Pluralsight. But then when I was doing the developer CKAD certification, I was using Udemy. But there is a course from KodeKloud. It is very good. Especially their practice questions is super good. And then I feel like you should, for anyone want to get certified, you should use either Udemy or from a KodeKloud. Depends on your, sometimes Udemy actually give you a super discount. When I was doing the CKAD, I only spent $15. So right now it's pretty expensive. I saw it's like 100 plus. And you can also try Killer Shell. So Killer Shell, that's for you to do the simulator. Before you do the exam, you can do the simulator. In the bottom, we'll have the link. I think that's, yeah, last slide. So if you want to try other Kubernetes, I also created the automation for Amazon EKS, for Azure AKS, and also OpenShift, and also Alibaba Cloud, etc. I think that's all I want to talk about. I probably overused your time. Thanks, everybody. I hope it's useful to you guys.